cross-eye dominance is maybe you're right-handed like me. I'm a right-handed person, and my right eye is also my dominant side eye. So I present the gun under my right eye, and I am right-handed dominant. For a lot of left-hand dominant people will present the gun under their left eye because they happen to be same side dominant. But for some people, it may be a smaller amount, but there's still a significant amount of people that maybe right-handed but left eye dominant, maybe left-handed but right eye dominant. In other words, they are cross eye dominant. So if I present my gun under my right eye, for them that would be very, very uncomfortable. So they have to present their gun under their left eye, just kind of like I did like that. Without having to turn my head a whole bunch, I kind of presented my gun under my left eye, and I can see my dot with my left eye. So the ideal way to go about this is to first start, if at all possible, without moving your head at all, or very, 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 very minimally, you want to just learn to present the gun under the dominant eye. For me, it's under my right eye, but for a lot of people that are cross-eye dominant, not for a lot of people, for 100% of the people that are cross-eye dominant, they would have to present it under their left eye as a right-handed person. So that would be your first step. Trying to present the gun just with your head straight ahead like you would normally be talking to somebody without having to do this to present the gun. Try to present the gun under the correct eye, your dominant eye. I know of several people, high-level shooters, that have been able to achieve that. It is an amount of work that you need to be willing to put in to achieve that, but it eliminates this deal where you're like having to turn your head very, very aggressively. I guess if you're left eye dominant and right-handed, you would turn it towards your dominant hand side so that your dominant eyesight would be under the gun. So I believe that there's a lot of detrimental things that can happen here. You're cutting off a lot of vision on your support side, I guess. If you're right-handed dominant, your support side, your left side would be, kind of left a little bit blind. You're seeing a little bit less. Your head is pointing this direction while you may be running this direction or that direction trying to shoot, moving that direction trying to shoot. Like I say in a lot of things, the litmus test is, can you do this thing, whatever it is you're practicing, static on the move? If you can't do it on the move, it's probably detrimental. You're not getting the most benefit out of it. All right. So I encourage you to at first put some time into trying to present the gun under the support side. That would be your step one. This is not the step one. This would be a very last resource to find your sights or put the gun under the eye that you prefer. This would be your very last resort. All right. So the first one will be present the gun. So normally, I try to be straightforward, so maybe you can see it. Normally, I would present the gun this way, and it's hard to tell, right? Is this better? Can you see better? Like it's under my right eye, right? But for cross-eye dominant, they would have to do this, where the gun is now under my left eye. Hopefully you can see like how big a shift that is. It's probably, I don't know, several inches, right? My eyes are not that far from each other, right? Maybe like I would say maybe 4 to 6 inches, something like that, where you have to shift it under your left eye. It's not that big a movement, and I think eventually you would get pretty good at that. Like I said, there's some high-level guys that have been able to do it, and you would never know that they're cross-eye dominant because they've learned to present their gun under that correct eye without having to shift their head. Step one. Step two, for static exercises, normally a shooter would have their support sight foot forward. I'll go back more so you can see. So if I'm going to do something static and I get to choose my stance, again, I think stance for the most part is irrelevant, but if I get to choose my stance and I'm doing a bunch of static exercises, I tend to be in this kind of athletics, a little bit of a fighter stance. You would have your left foot forward for a right-handed person, so your support side would be first in front of you. And you'll notice that my gun presents really, really well like that. If I just look where the gun is now, if I were to just switch my feet,